this little Pac-Man moving around left and right. If you were to speak to him, down at him, he would feel your voice from the center of his being emanating outward. And that's a divine experience, which is fascinating because I've met people who've had those experiences and said they felt a voice come from within them and tell them things. And then
I've had that experience.
A booming voice from within your body. It could perhaps just be a higher dimensional being speaking, and the vibrations come from seemingly within you, but it's coming from a different direction we can't perceive.
Can we hear about it?
Yeah, it's a weird story. I was driving to a donor meeting, and was in my car, and suddenly I had like this weird sensation. It was almost like a something wafted air really quickly past me while I was in a vehicle, and I heard distinctly. It wasn't like a voice, like a human voice, but it was clear. Like I recognized it as a message that said, "Say yes." So I go into this donor meeting, and I'm supposed to ask for a contribution. We end up talking about stuff, and the individual said, he's like, "You know more about my topic than a lot of the people that I work with in the finance industry." And he said, "I came here to write you a check, but I'd rather just see if you want to be a partner." Honestly, after our conversation, and I just at that moment, it was like, holy cow.
Say yes.
I'm supposed to be the one saying yes. I mean, normally you go and I was supposed to ask him for money. He's supposed to say yes instead. And so I felt like that was a radical move, like, career change. But that's my personal experience.
Yeah. And, I've never heard an audible voice myself, but speaking of new buildings, when we moved to Tennessee, we had a brand new house, and we've had weird things happening in that brand new house. And some people say it's because of what I do, but it never happens around me. It's always my family. So I think one of the most strong stories that I have on that would be my wife was putting my 2-year-old, I think at the time, down for a nap, and she was laying in the bed with her, helping her go to sleep, middle afternoon. My son, who I think was about 5 at the time, he's in the living room watching cartoons or something. While my wife is laying there, she hears a voice behind her in a dimly lit room say, "Mommy." And she rolls over, and there's nobody there. She thought it was my son at first, but she's like, oh, maybe she heard him through the door or something. So she gets my daughter down for a nap, and she walks out, and my son comes running over to her. Our living room is right off a little hallway that has the bedrooms. So where he was sitting, he could literally see my daughter's bedroom door. He runs over to my wife and he says, "Mommy, something really scary happened while you were in there." And she said, "What?" And she said he said, "Somebody from the hallway right where they were at said my name." And so at the same time that she heard "Mommy," he heard his name whispered to him. And it's like, I've never heard a vocalization like that, but it surely has happened in my own home. So
what if ghost phenomenon and things like this, it's actually just time as we know it? Sometimes, if you view it as a dimensional plane, higher dimensions sometimes fold past each other. And so I'm imagining this scenario where if there's like this point where the fabric of reality just like lightly touches it and moves and passes through, there's a dude, and so this is why hauntings happen in old houses, because they were there long enough for this interaction to have occurred. So let's say there's a house, it's 1800, and there's like this guy, and he's standing in the hallway going upstairs, and all of a sudden he sees this man wearing strange clothes he can't explain, and they both look at each other, and then the man screams, "Ah! Ah!" And then he goes and tells everybody, "This place is haunted. I saw a demon or something." Then everyone writes down how the house is haunted. Then 200 years later, a guy shows up. Yeah. He's going through the hallway of the haunted house, and he turns and he sees a man from the 1800s standing right before him who screams, and they says, "It's true." And really what happened is they both briefly had the timelines flash past each other.
You're kind of describing what you were talking about with like just the physics. What do we not know about time and how that operates? I mean, what you're describing, and then taking the story that I just shared, it really could be something where we've been there for 3 years. Mm-hmm. At some point, I'm sure myself or my wife come around and go, "Hey Ben, come here," because my daughter's sleeping. Yeah. And the same thing, I know for a fact, my son goes in the room, sneaks up on mom and goes, mommy, you know, trying to be quiet. So that's an interesting theory for sure.
That go through time, but then yours would be different because what was your interpretation? Was it like divine or?
I felt like it was divine.
Yeah,
It was
feels that way.
providential. Yeah.
Because like other people would say, not yours, because it doesn't sound demonic. But other people hear it. Like the C.S. Lewis book, Screw Tape Letters, is about demons whispering in people's ears, and I believe that happens.
Yeah.
What
A
if
lot in D.C.
But what if
Your
it's
neck of the woods.
what if it's scarier than that? And what if these are aliens?
That's also possible.
What if you know? Because I think again, Alex Jones is talking about interdimensional beings that are sending guidance to elites, telling them what to do. What if aliens, as people believe them to be, are actually interdimensional, and that explains how they're able to travel vast different. It explains what we can't see.
Yeah.
We don't see other civilizations. It explains how we're like, how do you travel a billion light years? You don't. It's through space-time or whatever, through dimensions. And what if these are not necessarily smarter, but more advanced entities that are controlling the flow of our existence for their own ends?
Yeah, an interdimensional thing was like a meme with Alex Jones, but then your colleague, Rep Luna, I think a year or two ago, literally came out and said, I don't know if she believed in it or she had proof that there were interdimensional beings.
She definitely stated it.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
So I was in the very first hearing, the witness, the big whistleblower, David Grush, in his report that he gave to us, and I read it beforehand, and that struck me the most out of his report. Was that he said one of the theories is that what we're experiencing is aliens are interdimensional, and whenever in the hearing I had 5 minutes, I asked him that question, can he drill into that, and it was interesting. It was really an interesting topic, and it does, because my contention was, look, I understand that there's the probability of life being somewhere in this universe that's so vast. But I also think the probability goes the other way too. The universe is so vast. What are the odds, given traditional space-time travel, knowing that, under Einstein's theory, nothing really can exceed the speed of light through conventional space-time? What are the odds that other life that exists somewhere in the vast universe, of all the places that it could go, it chooses to come here, third rock from the sun, right? Like, that to me is also improbable. That's why David Grush said, the interdimensional aspect of this changes all of that.
Well, you see, here's the sad reality: is there's thousands of different intelligent species. They exist all over the universe, interdimensionally and otherwise. They're all aware of the existence of God and each other, except us, because we're reality TV for them. They're just entertained by it. That's why they care about.
We're a Netflix series.
Exactly. They're like, let's just watch these people. Everybody knows everything, so it's boring. Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.